Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today we've got a review of my new watch. I did the unboxing video about just under 2 weeks ago. But before I start, if you like these reviews and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I'll try and keep doing more videos. So anyway, back to the watch. This is my new one. This is a Larkau Aachen Taube, I think is the correct way to pronounce it. Larkau Aachen Taube. The Taube is actually describes the colour of the dial. First time I've dealt with this brand, and to be fair, I've had it on my wrist absolutely non-stop. I've really got I've grown quite attached to this watch. I know it's one of the cheaper watches in my collection, but I absolutely really like it. It's really grown on me. So I wasn't sure what to expect, and to be fair, I'm really super happy. It's a Larkau, the company, basically are one of the old German companies. In fact, when I say old, they've been around since 1925. Who were commissioned by the German government to make German flight watches, Flieger watches. There was only about 5 companies who did it. All others are really well known, and they've stuck to that philosophy. They've kept their history by still making these flight watches. There was 2 different versions. This is the B dial, and there was an A dial which just had the single minute track around the outside without this second inner dial here. Now basically back in those days they were 55mm watches, so to house, it was at the time, pocket watch movements, but they wanted a clear, concise, easy to read, well loomed timepiece which was accurate, which their pilots could fly by. Obviously back then these were a really important part of the pilot's equipment. These really did do their, were super important. But anyway, back to the modern day. So this watch here is a Type B. It's 42mm across, but it seems bigger than that because the simple fact is there is no bezel. It is all dial. So it looks a lot bigger than what it actually appears. And it only stands under 12mm tall. So it's about 11.75 mil. So it's actually not very tall. It looks a little bit taller because of these sheer sides on it. And the lug width is 20mm on this one. Now basically it has got a lovely brushed finish all the way along. I know that there are other different versions I make with a bead blasted finish. Bead blasting is great, and most of my Zens have got that finish, but the beauty with brushed is you get that satin finish, plus it's ever so easy to remove any marks from if you get a mark going against a brush of the metal. So it's incredibly easy to look after. The watch has a sapphire crystal on the front and a sapphire crystal on the rear, showing the case back, display case for the back, so you can see the movement. The actual watch houses a Miyota 821A. Now the advantage this one has, which most of the other basic range of the Flieger watches from Larkau don't have, is this. If I pull the crown out, yep, it does have a second stop, so it is hackable. And it also is a manual wind. And to be fair, it feels quite smooth. Maybe not quite as smooth, I'd say, as the Seiko movements, but it's still very smooth. What some people don't like about this movement is the rotor. As it spins, you can feel it. And I'm of the opposite thought completely about that. I absolutely love that you can feel the watch working. but you can feel the rotor spinning every so often. You can sometimes hear it slightly, but I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's a nice feeling to have on the wrist, also to be able to hear that, you know, it is working. This little mechanical, you know, timepiece is actually being powered off your movement. The movement itself is a 21 joule movement. It has approximately 42 hours of power reserve. It's unidirectional winding. And what I mean by that is when the rotor spins round, winding your watch, not all rotors wind a watch in each direction. To be fair, the Seiko does. The cheaper Seikos do actually wind in both directions, but not all movements do. You'd be surprised, even some of the higher end movements don't always do it. What this one does, when it spins counterclockwise, that's when it winds up your watch. So it's just a little quirk, but I have no problem with that. I've been wearing it for the last, well, since I brought it really, 10 days, something like, somewhere along those lines. I've only took it off to do the review of the video. And timekeeping wise, I would say it's settled down now to approximately 6 seconds a day, roughly. I was debating on regulating this watch. It does have a snap-in case back, and what that means is instead of having the holes to put your watch removal, the case back removal tool on, it is actually pressed in and snap fit. Remember, this is a flight watch, it's not a dive watch, so it only has a simple 50 meters of water resistance, which, to be fair, is perfectly acceptable. Let's face it, if you were a pilot and your plane landed in the sea, you've got other problems. So I don't think you've got to worry about that. But to be fair, I'm struggling with my tool to get it into this small recess to snap it. But I can actually get the back off to regulate it. But I will do it at some stage. I'll try and get it a little bit more accurate than that. But as it's a steady 6 seconds a day, I'm quite happy with that because I know the movement isn't erratic. It's actually staying at a constant. So a constant means I can regulate it, so that's not really a problem. There's no AR coating, I don't think, to the Sapphire. At least I can't see any anyway. The thing which is also special about this watch, apart from movement having the stop function, because when I first looked at these watches, basically I would have liked one of the expensive ETA movement ones, but I sold one of my other watches, a watch I didn't really wear, and I basically came across this and I got it for an exceptional price off a grey dealer. There's only 500 of these in the world. They are a limited edition watch. The retail price, the full retail price, I believe in America is $460. In Europe, it's 390 euros. And I believe in the UK, you can pick them up for approximately 350 pounds, thereabouts. So it's not a cheap watch as such, but it's one of the lower price brackets of my collection. But I say I've been wearing this over many of my others the last few days, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I love the fact of the big sweeping second hand on there, the way the second hand comes all the way out to the markers. You can really set this watch ever so accurately. That's what I like about it. There's no vagueness like you get with a Panerai, where is it 42 minutes past, is it 43 minutes past? You don't really actually know. Where this one is very precise, and I do like that. The outer track, obviously you've got your minutes, you've got the very long minutes hand there, and this inner track is purely for the hours. So it takes a little bit, I actually found, getting used to it first, because it is so small, the hour hand, but I do like it. I love the fact that it's fully loomed. I don't know if I'll be able to get this because it's too bright in here. I will drop in pictures as well, but it's got this lovely blue loom. The loom itself is C1, so maybe not quite as good as C3, and obviously you can see the blue loom versus the green loom of the C3. But I do find that when I go to bed, I put a flashlight on this for 5 seconds, and I can easily read the time all the way through the night. So that I really like. The other things as well, it has the big kind of onion crown on the side, which is, it's not screw down, it is just a simple press in. As I say, not being a dive watch, it doesn't need a screw down crown, but it's perfect. Does a lovely job hand winding, setting the time, so forth. Now, one thing you may have noticed, this isn't the original strap which came with the watch. I found this strap. I wanted a NATO strap for this, but the simple fact is it's one of those watches which looks right on a NATO strap, and I was very fortunate that I found this strap. It is a G10 type, so there is this wrap over piece which goes on the rear, and I think it looks absolutely perfect for the watch, as the coachwork, the metalwork of the watch is actually brushed as well, so it suits the watch fantastically. And the good thing is with these NATO straps, you can pick them up for ever so cheap. You can even get NATO straps as cheap as a few pounds, $5, you know, delivered out. But realistically, you only have to spend $10, £10, and you've got yourself a real cracking looking NATO. I've never been a big NATO fan before, but on this watch, yes, oh yes, I do like it. The original standard stock strap does look amazing in the pictures. It looks fantastic on the watch, and it is very supple, very nicely finished on the sides, made in Germany, and it also has the Laco emblem on there and a fully signed buckle, and it is a very lovely soft. I love the finish, I love the colour of the leather, it feels really nice. But, and I've mentioned this in prior videos, I don't like straps which taper. Now, you can get away with that when it's a 22mm leather strap. If it tapers, that's not so bad. But being this watch is 42mm and the leather strap tapers down to, I would say, borderline 16, it just doesn't feel right. And it's a shame, because if this was a straight cut, this is a straight cut leather strap. So you see the difference if I hold it on here. It's amazing, because there it's nothing. But this strap looks so much more chunkier than this strap, just because of the straight cut. To be fair, I must do a review of this strap actually at some stage, because I brought this for this watch. I thought it would work quite well. That's why I ordered the grey stitching. And I'll drop some pictures in of actually on. And I got this from a gentleman on eBay who hand makes the straps, and it says made in Scotland, and it was such a good price. I'm really, really blown away by that. But anyway, back to the watch. So that's why I put it on this NATO strap. So if I actually put, getting back to it, because it's 20mm, when it tapers down to 16 or so, it just doesn't look right. If it was 22 tapering down to 20, then that wouldn't be so bad. But for me, I'm just not so keen on that. If I put it on the wrist, I put this on just before the video, so we've got the Seiko Baby Monster. Now that's a 44mm, and some would say a big watch. Now if I put this next to it, this being 42mm, doesn't look far off the size of that, and look how tiny the dial is on this one versus this. So, you know, that's the difference. A 42mm. If you've got small wrists, I'd possibly go for like a 39mm Flieger, because they are they're bigger than the size, you know, the actual numbers tell. They come across a lot bigger. If I put this on, so you've got an idea. Pass it through the loops at the back, and you can tell I've been wearing this a lot, because now the fold over section is almost flat, and that I think just looks stunning. I think it looks really nice on the wrist. Like I say, I'm really quite taken by this watch. I'm really surprised. So that's it on the wrist, and I think it just feels right. It weighs less than 100 grams. It's only 90, I think it's 93 or 90, no, 93 grams, I believe it is. So, yeah, it is actually a very, very comfortable watch on the wrist. I'll pull the NATO strap off so you can see more of the case back. And that's the beauty of a NATO strap, obviously, but you can just take them off like so. And that's the case back. So I'll drop some more detailed shots in, but you can see the, if I get the rotor spinning, the rotor just flies round. The rotor is a signed type, so it's actually a full insignia of the company. The movement is actually decorated on the back of the main housing there. It's not called a bridge. I've got a main plate, the rear main plate, sorry. So, and also you've got sapphire crystal, all stainless steel. This is number 430 out of 500. So I say waterproof down to 50 meters, and that's more than I will need anyway. And I'll quickly drop in some more shots, as I say, on these different straps as well. So there you go. That is my first ever watch from this company, and I'm really impressed. I really like it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and all that. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. All the best. Bye.